which is kind of unique in a stadium sense. Week 6 here on my Revamped Dynasty. I'm running a Cal Dynasty, but we're going to play as Stanford today. Stanford versus Washington. Washington is ranked 22, and Stanford is ranked 23. And here we are at Stanford Stadium on the campus of Stanford University. Looks beautiful with the few clouds in the sky. Let's go ahead with the coin toss. Huskies will pick tails. They will lose the toss. We win, we defer. 6-minute quarters here. On a cue, kicking it off. Who will be our return man? That is Collins. He's gonna down it for the touchback. The impact player, junior quarterback Dustin Roach, threw 2 TDs his last game. Thought he was a sophomore, but he's a junior. Here's our defense: De Niro, Scepter, Cyrus, Robinson, Edwards, Harvey, Lloyd, Egbert, Lane, Neiman. And there we go. First play is a run. Annie Lilly will take it up for 8 yards. Second and 2. Go OLB fire. Roach snaps it quickly. And a decent stop, however, Manny Lilly does get the first down. Another handoff to Lilly. He's going to take it to the left. Turned twice on that run and ends up getting just 1 yard. Second and 9. No huddle here by Roach. Go cover 3. I don't even know if I was able to get the playoff, but still was able to pressure Roach into throwing it out of bounds. It's a good job there by the Cardinal defense. It's now 3rd and 9. Ball on the Washington 39. Let's go cover 3 buzz. Roach will attempt the pass, and Johnson is going to deflect it. So 4th down. Time for Washington to punt. Kratz punts it. And Neely will return. Will we get a block? Oh, we won't get a... Oh, he'll break the tackle, though. Neely will stay up. Finally gets tackled by 51. We'll start with the halfback stretch. If you follow me on Instagram, at JPSFG, you'll find a few photos of me at my recent visit to Stanford's campus last week. But I was not able to go inside the stadium. Nope, it was locked up. It was a weekday, so no event going on there that day. Yes, Tevin Key gets the reception on 2nd down and turns that play into the 1st down. Dyson Long kind of got impeded there on the throw, but was still able to complete it to the fullback Key. 1st and 10, ball on the Washington 47. We're going to hand it off again to the center of the middle of the field is clear. Yeah, good coverage there by linebackers. No gain for Augman. 2nd and 10. Let's go play action. Ooh, could have appreciated the block there, but still able to get 5 yards on the play. Third down for Stanford. Let's go double cross. I was debating whether to do slants or double cross. I guess we'll go with the double cross. There we go with Key. He will take it past the first down marker. Second reception for Tevin Key. And the ball's now on the Huskies 32. Let's go with read option. Yes. There we go, Augment. Okay. 17 yards on the run. Another first down for Stanford. Yo, thanks for the follow, JMac513. Is this the updated roster? No, this is a fictional roster. None of these players are real. But I believe they do have rosters out for 2021. What the? Thanks, will intercept that pass from Dyson Long. Ends up going out of bounds. Cannot believe it. I had my man open. It's just, wow, dude. That should not be possible to do in a video game. So although this is not the updated roster, these are the updated uniforms for both squads for 2021. So it's a good job by the Revamped developers. First play for the Huskies on the drive is to Blake Sellers. Gain of 2 on his reception. 2nd and 8. Let's try this cat blitz. Cat blitz on the dogs. Okay, not enough for the first down there. 3rd and short. And out to Lily. He's gonna get the first.
That's good for a gain of 11 yards. That makes it 1st and 10.
Let's go. Cover 1 lurk. Play action. A lob. Milton with the reception and the first down.
Gain of 12 on the play. 1st down.
So Roach 2 for 4 on pass attempts. Let's try the blitz on first down. I believe they're gonna run it. Yes, let's bring him backwards. Let's go, Lane. There we go. Loss of 3 for Manny Lilly. Other number 8. Defensive lineman. Jimmy Lane, single digit wearing defensive lineman. 2nd and 13. This is given to Tally. We'll gain 3. It's now 3rd and 10. Okay, let's get this stop here. Force them to punt. Oh boy. The tight end, Kyle Lamb, gets the reception and the first down. Washington moves the chains. I didn't even blitz there. Roach finds Collins, and it's a gain of 9. Huskies in the red zone. Let's try cover 3 bluff. Roach back to pass. Okay. A lot happened there. I was kind of wondering if he tackled him before the ball was able to get to him, but I guess not. 3rd and 1 now for Washington. And he literally find himself the first. 1st and goal now for Washington. It's Lilly at 32 rushing yards here in the 1st quarter. Let's go GL zone. Sellers in motion. Roach gonna go for the touchdown pass. Greg Talley with the reception. And Washington is on the board. So Washington with an efficient drive after the pick on Tyson Long. It is 6-0 with 50 seconds left in the 1st quarter. Now it's 7-0. Stanford with their drive coming up here. Battle of these top 20 teams. Oh. So as stated before, first drive ended in an interception. I'm gonna try to move this up the field fairly quickly. But be smart about it too. Here we go, Ogman. Ogman able to get tracked by Lynch. Only gains 1. 2nd and 9. Stretch it to the left. Almost turned into a disaster there as the linesman was waiting for me, the running back, but was not able to chase me for some reason. Just stood there, both feet flat. Let's try this FB slip. Oh shit. Quarter is over. As we head to the 2nd quarter, the score is Washington 7, Stanford 0. We're watching Revamped After Dark here on Twitch. Okay, 3rd and 4. I think we'll go with this deep curl instead. Nobody on the right was open. So 3 and out for Stanford to start off this 2nd quarter. We'll see how far Dennis can take this. Here we go, Robinson with the return. Shit. Takes it inside the Washington 40. Lilly, run on 1st down. 5 yards on the play. Alabama defeats Georgia State 42-0. I mean, it's not a surprise, but Georgia State absolutely got blanked. Alabama, number 1 in this dynasty. Nice. Harvey with the tackle on Manny Lilly. It's now 3rd and 4 for the Huskies. Roach, looking for a man. Get in front of him. So a deep pass completed to Melton. Takes the Huskies into the red zone. And this one completed to Collins. He's going to score. So the Washington offense has the momentum. They scored their second TD of the ball game. Score is now Washington 14, Stanford 0, 4:55 remaining in the second quarter. John Collins with the TD on that drive. Here we go with Neely returning this one. Okay, we're pretty darn conservative so far. Let's go with the stick and nod and see how we go here. Completed to Duke Alapati. First down, Stanford. Let's go with this HB flip. We're gonna give the defense a little hint, but oh, look at that. Okay, gain of 5 for Eddie Ogman. Second and 5. Ball on the Cardinal 42. Let's go ex-sluggo. Long under center. Block. Alright, we're gonna go with the screen. Oh, breaks that tackle. Can he get the first? He is short of the first down. What does coach want us to do here? We're down by 14. Alrighty, getting this around the 15. Ball is actually placed at the 20. Roach passing. Gets it to Manny Lilly. Tackled by Neiman. Just a gain of 2. Second and 8. Let's go cover 2 spy. Lilly will be short of the first down. However, they're just 2 yards away from another first. Pinch him. Let's pinch him. Wow. So, a draw play. It's up in a first for Manny Lilly. Gain of 7 takes them to 51 rushing yards. An average of 4 per rush. Yes. That results in a loss. Lonnie Robinson with the TFL. Time for some cover 2 sink. Give it to Tyrone Rogers, his first carry. It's a gain of 1. Now the Huskies have a 3rd and 13 situation. Lamb's in motion. Roach. There we go. That is Harvey with the sack on Dustin Roach. Time for the Huskies to punt it. And Stanford, we used up our first timeout just to keep the clock stopped. Okay. Damn right, we're going to try for some deep passes on this drive. We need to get on the board. Let's try Durham. Completed to Johnson. Oof. I could have evaded that defender. Could have taken it to the house. But it's a first down for Tyson Long and Jamie Johnson and the rest of the Stanford offense. 2 timeouts remaining for the Cardinal. Oof. Defender was close to Johnson there. Second down. Alright, we'll go with the dig play. Caught by Ogman. Gain of 4. Third down. Alright. Okay, girls. Let's do it. Please get separation. Oh, underthrown. Ogman is going to get the first down. Baby Eddie Ogman. Ball is now on the Huskies. 27. Let's try bench. So why are we in I form? There we go. Caught by Jamie Johnson. 12 yards and a first down. He did get pushed out of bounds. Clock will be stopped. Let's try the wide receiver screen. Oh, jeez. Defender that was real close to Johnson after he made the reception. Allowed Johnson prevented Johnson from getting the first down there. Alright, let's try a key. There we go. Woo. Number 37 turned at the last second, allowing Key to make the clean catch. Do we have a replay? Yes, we do. He ran away from the ball. Maybe he got deked by Tevin Key on his route. But I'll take it. Stanford has 7 points on the board. They're still down by 7 though. But we do have the ball to start the third quarter. So we'll try to survive these last 33 seconds without any damage and get the ball back and try to tie the game. Let's go cover 3 cloud. Lots of cloud development near the area, Silicon Valley. That's why we do cover 3 cloud. Thrown out of bounds. Incomplete, 2nd and 10. 29 seconds on the clock. Okay, 2 men under. Roach will find Kyle Lamb. He'll be short of the first down. Washington uses up their first time out of the half. Ball spotted on the Washington 34. It's 3rd and 1. If they don't convert, we're going to take a timeout, get the ball back, see what happens. Pass. And he gets sacked. Love it. Love how that one turned out. Roach was under quite a bit of pressure with the pocket caving in on him. So here we go with the punt attempt from Kratz. 20 seconds on the clock. We can attempt the deep ball with a decent punt return. Clock is ticking. Okay. I think we're past midfield. 10 seconds on the clock. It is actually on the 48. Not necessarily need to go for the TD here. Just try to get it into field goal range. Might have fucked up there by calling the timeout, but whatever. We'll go for the deep pass. Where are the... Oh, there. Hail Mary? No, I just want 4 verts. Okay, we'll go with the strong foot, but we're gonna hit the... We're just gonna go for the end zone. You know what? I need to go out of bounds. Life is harder when you don't have timeouts remaining. Flea flicker? Do it. Oh, dude. What a fail. He ate up Hogman on the attempted flea flicker. Washington probably didn't know we were running one. But at halftime, the score is Washington 14, Stanford 7. Enjoy these halftime highlights. I'll be right back. Alright, second half, here we go. We are going to receive. Johnson with the return this time, instead of Neely. Stanford trying not to fall to 1-3 on the season. They are last place, and they're part of the Pac-12 standings. Here is, wow, number 10. Is that Lynch? That's what John Madden would say. It would exclaim, "Boom!" after that hit. Yes, got it to Key. Key has been the guy for Tyson Long. Fortunately, no defender was able to get to the quarterback as Long was eyeing Devin Key. A couple of linesmen attempted to deflect the pass, were unsuccessful. And now Stanford is in Washington territory. 1st and 10, ball on the Washington 36. I'm gonna hand it off to Ogden. Okay, decent blocking there. Allowed Ogden to get 6. 2nd and 4. Let's go plunge. First down? Yes. Another run there for Eddie Ogman. Responsible for the last 10 yards for the Cardinal. Let's go weak toss. We use a good block from Crowell. Yeah. There we go. That's what I was hoping for. Ogman takes it inside the 5. First down, Cardinal. You won't get off of that Husky there. I don't blame him. Gotta catch your breath after that nice run. Alrighty, so first and goal, ball is at the 3. Let's go power O. Man in motion should help here with blocking. Strickland's now the halfback. There we go, Strickland with the touchdown. And the celebratory dive. So that drive made up of, I guess, 85% runs and 15% deep passes. Konikew's extra point now ties the game up at 14 with 4:18 left in the third quarter. Collins in the end zone, gonna down it for the touchback. Just looking at some of the scores on the bottom line there, we already talked about Alabama shellacking Georgia State. Navy, the win over Air Force. Oklahoma wins once again. Texas got a win over Iowa State. Roach is gonna attempt to run it up. No gain on the play. Let's go sink. Waiting on Tally to line up. Here's the snap. Oh, dude. So close, but can we pick it off? It is picked off. Egbert, the man, to take it away from the Huskies. Stanford takes over. We have a replay. Yes, sir. Forgot who I was controlling there, but let's see. Whoa! I wonder if the ball shifted in midair. I'll take it, though. Cardinal start off on their own 40. I'm gonna pass it to Crowell here. Oh, shit. You know what? Fuck it. We're running. Got ya. First down, Stanford. Number 93, just a bit slow. He actually could have had him on the dive, but he whiffed. So first down for Stanford. We'll run it. It is tied, 14-14 here in the middle of the third quarter. There we go, Ogman. It's a first down run for him. 13-yard gain. That puts him at 78 on the day. Alright, we'll do zone week. Let's get one man in motion. Oh, dude. What the fuck was that? People pushing, people shoving. Caused me to only gain 1. 2nd and 9. Misdirection coming up. We'll go 2. There we go. Okay. Gain of 5. It's now 3rd and 4. Let's do it. TE angle here. Main target is key, but we've got other options as well, especially Alapati. Gonna get up first? Wow. What happened there with 93? Kind of let up. Let me through like a revolving door. Or an automatic door. You see in those grocery stores. How nice of him to let me through for the first down. Tried to do something there, but nope. Did not work. 2nd and 9.
That brings up 2nd and 9.
Okay, we can run it again.
Four down. Mike 10. Mike 10. Let's go. Red 18.
Oh. Ah.
Loss of 2 yards.
Initially got help, but once that help had transpired, Ogman was all alone. Bryant was able to get to him. It's now 3rd and 11. We'll go with this corner strike play.
4 down. 10's the mic. 10's the mic. Here we go. Red 18.
Oh, you gotta be shitting me.
False start, offense. Still third down.
Well, this changes the situation. It's now 3rd and 16. I want to do a screen pass. Do we have that in? Alright, fine. We'll do a vertical play.
Man left. 4 down.
Key might be open. Shit. No one was open. Punt. You know what? I'll do that thing where a quarterback does an arm punt. If I can't get anyone open, I'll chuck it in the end zone nonetheless. I'll risk an interception, but let's see. High-low read looks interesting. Whatever. Verticals.
4 down. Mike 10. Mike 10. Let's go.
Shit, what was that? Alapati, you're supposed to go straight. So, no points there on that drive. I tried to lob the pass over Alapati's head because he beat the cover man. Oh boy. Tally with the reception. He gets the first down. 1 foot in is all you need. Roach. Delayed handoff to Lilly. Gain of 3. 2nd and 7. Now completed to the fullback, Sellers. It's now 3rd and 2. This quarter will be over. As we head to the 4th quarter, the score is tied. Washington 14, Stanford 14. Alright, 3rd and 2. Let's go cover 3 buzz. Roach gets it to Tally. It's a first down for the Huskies.
Gain of 8 yards. That makes it 1st and 10.
Roach with 128 passing yards. So I'm giving it to Lilly. Lane will get to him. 2nd and 7.
That'll make it 2nd and 7.
They'll cover 1 robber. Trying to rob that bitch from them. Yes, we did. Called it. Get the block. Ah. Okay, there we go. Second turnover for Washington. Anthony Lloyd with the pick. The intended target was Melton. Melton was way behind the defender on that pass. Maybe there was some sort of miscommunication. Stanford has a chance here to take the lead late in the fourth quarter. Gain of 4 for Stanford. It's 2nd and 6. Okay, we'll do screen pass. Oh, do we have daylight? Okay. 25 yards on the screen pass to Eddie Ogman. He is a good candidate for player of the game. Been involved for much of the offensive drives. Yeesh. Second and 9. Let's get it to X. Key. Whoa, come on. That would have been a first down.
That'll make it 3rd and 9.
There we go, slung to Alapati. Gets the first down. Stanford moves the chains. They are hyped. Good, you know. Let's run a triple option. Hold up, what the? Or are we supposed to give it to Crowell? Guessing. Oh, there we go, Crowell. Triple option success. That's his first rush of the game. Ball is now on the Washington 12. Should have ran it outside a little bit more. It's a gain of 2 for Ogman. There we go, Jones gets in for the touchdown. That's Jones's first involvement in this whole game. He gets a score. Gets Stanford in the lead. The score is now Washington 14, Stanford 21 with 3:18 remaining in the fourth quarter. Ogman out with an abdominal strain. He's going to be back. Okay, defense still need your help here. Try and keep them in their own territory. Dustin Roach is under center with Lilly in the backfield. This one handed off to Lilly. Short gain there. 2nd and 6.
That makes it 2nd and 6.
They're still running it. That is Granger that has shifted. This one thrown away. Roach felt the pressure. 3rd and 6. Here we go. Let's go buzz. Let's hype the crowd while we're at it. Roach back to pass. Melton will catch it. What is going on here? He keeled over like an old man. And it's 4th down. Okay, we're going to get a return here from Neely. Decent return. Oh, it's just time to manage this clock. We can shoot for the field goal. We can take this game, but be careful. Cautious, careful, whatever you want to call it. Make sure we don't turn it over. Oh. Loss of 1 on the handoff to Eddie Ogman. I want us to pass it now. Okay. Why not? Let's throw him off. Completed to Alapati. 1st down, Stanford. I think they went with the blitz play. Luckily, Alapati was open all the way. And Washington has to use up their 2nd timeout. They only have 1 remaining. And that's Washington's final timeout. So, despite Stanford being in Husky territory, they're having trouble running it this drive. Need to find a hole. Again, 1. Perhaps 2. Alright, we'll go with this fullback flat play. I'll wait till the clock gets down to... let's do the math here. 26, 127 maybe. Hopefully Quinn can get open. Okay, let's get the first run. Long is gonna be short. I don't know why. I was trying to press circle. It did not register for me. Kind of pissed me off. Okay, we're gonna go with the field goal try. 47-yard attempt for Conaque. I'm gonna be looking at the analog stick as I kick this to make sure I don't flub it. This kick is up. It is good. Florida State is actually decent in this dynasty. They improved to 4-1. Okay, so just 43 seconds in the 4th quarter. Let's go with this sure touchback. Lockdown defense. 2 interceptions by the Cardinal, 1 interception by the Huskies. Stanford has 3 sacks. Washington has 1 sack. Huskies starting off at their own 25. Roach, unsurprisingly, in shotgun with Lilly to the right of him. And they'll go for the middle of the field. It's incomplete. Second down. 38 seconds on the clock. No timeouts remaining for Washington. Oh, man. The ball slipped out of his hands after the sack. De Niro, I believe. So 61 could have had the fumble score. Not sure what exactly would it be called. I think there was a similar play that happened in the Bears game, where a fumble was made on the QB and the defensive lineman snagged it in the air. Didn't take it for a touchdown though. Okay, 4th and 7 now. Stanford pretty much has us in the bag. But it ain't over. Ain't officially over. So I'm gonna go with this 4th down play. Roach back to pass. He's gonna roll out to the right. Double covered and incomplete. A turnover on downs. Stanford will get to go in victory formation. So after the clock winds down to 0, we'll be recording game highlights for the YouTube channel. So stay tuned for that. And then we'll also look ahead to what I will play on the next stream.
Here we go. Green 95. Green 95.
And it's a final from Stanford Stadium. The Cardinal take this one, 24-14. Player of the game, quarterback Tyson Long.